Hi, I'm Dean Bushmiller with Expanding Security. And this is malware. Well, not really malware, but you'll get it in a minute. If you're not seeing the full version of this, go to expandingsecurity.com, where you can also get quizzes, badges, and this mind map with all the dynamic links in it. So let's go ahead and get started. From a malware standpoint, don't work with malware. Well, okay, you might. If you do decide to work with malware, start with reverse engineering malware. Don't actually play around with malware. Learn about reverse engineering malware. And there's some really great courses about this out there. Any of the tools that you use to build malware with, even if they're the tools that are like the garbage ones that I'm going to show you, if you carry those across international borders or through any kind of customs whatsoever, the likelihood is you will go to jail. If you're going to travel, and if I travel, then I separate this onto an encrypted drive that's completely separate. And again, my tools don't work in the real world. I don't use malware tools like everybody else does. I use them as a display tool for what we're doing. Before we get into malware, let's talk about the delivery of malware. Normally what happens is we have end user insertion. And how does that end user insertion happen? Well, on the delivery of malware, it's usually some sort of social engineering. Hey, click on this link. This is really cool. But it's going to be any kind of communication that typical users initiate or are authorized to do so. Like on the cloud, you might use Discord, Basecamp, Slack, Trello, uGuile, JetBrains, and even GitHub today. Basically, these are untrusted sites. Well, we trust them a little bit as an end user. We trust the content, but then there's that other stuff there. We could also think about email attachments and file sharing services. Now that's from the cloud. What about hardware? Well, yeah, there's a bunch of hardware out there. Removable devices? How about Bluetooth? I mean, I've got a little Ubertooth right here. How about wireless? I've got a Wi-Fi Pineapple right here. How about Thunderbolt? And I don't have that one from Hack5 yet, but I'm getting that one. On the software side of things, there's going to be rogue decoy applications. I'll go through the process of deploying a rogue decoy application. You'll see how that works. There might be freeware, and there might be any just kind of downloading files that are out there. What adversaries want to do is they want to increase the chances of insertion. So they'll use, again, social engineering through phishing, social engineering clickjacking. They may even do zero click, which is a form of attack against certain phones that are out there. They could, instead of compromising you directly, suppose you go to a location. These are called watering hole attacks, where we compromise legitimate websites or do drive-by downloads or malvertising that's out there. And again, I'll show you that when we go ahead and build our fake Trojan a little bit later on. Lastly, there's network propagation, which is a vulnerable service that has been attacked and the adversary is sitting on that service. Today, with malware, the type of criminals that we're attracting are people who are opportunistic, like porch pirates, those kinds of things, or organized criminals. Now, these people really do know what they're doing. They understand service, distribution, and monetization. I'll explain ransomware as a service in the next section. And then there are the gray companies like Wabi Sabi Lobby that will actually build you an exploit if you pay them. And it's a whole bidding process that goes on in a marketplace there. It is legitimate to make that software. It is illegitimate to go ahead and distribute that. Now it's about the attackers getting paid. It's usually going to be some sort of cryptocurrency mining or some sort of ransomware out there. Today, we're using much more precise terms than we used to when we talked about viruses, worms, and Trojans. And so let's take those out of our vocabulary. I'm even sorry that I actually said it. Today, what we're going to use is Common Attack Patterns, Enumeration, and Classifications, or CAPEC. And I'm going to give you a little taste of that in the next section. So I hope you'll join me for the entire presentation.